Hello everyone, welcome into Fatty's Feast, where we make the best food you'll ever eat without leaving your backyard. My name is Josh, and today we are going to be smoking up some scrumptious bacon cheeseburger pickle poppers. Let's get started. Now, if you love burger and bacon and cheese and pickle and more cheese and smoke, you're gonna love this recipe. These guys are very similar to smoked shotgun shells, but with more meat and cheese. And another perk is this recipe will take no time at all. If you couldn't tell, I'm kind of in that mood. Quick smokes for quick appetizers or whatever. And honestly, the prep work is the hardest part. So first up, I'm gonna take a bowl, and in this bowl, I'm gonna throw about 1.5 pounds of ground beef. I got 3 pounds here because I needed more than a pound. Is anyone else frustrated with that? You can't get like 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds. It's always 1 pound or 3. So I don't know if I'm gonna use the rest of this. We'll kind of eyeball it. And to season, we're going to use our Grillaholics Twisted Seasoning. That's your salt, pepper, garlic, and butter. Link is in the description if you want to check some of this stuff out. So we'll give that a nice mix around. And we'll do a little more. I'm gonna be liberal with this. Now this burger won't be exposed to that much smoke. That's why I'm being kind of heavy with the seasoning. And now our first application of cheese. We're gonna do a good amount in there. And the cheese also gets mixed in. I used about half this bag here. This is also just your mild cheddar cheese. You can use whatever cheese you want to mix in with the burger. And now we have our ball of cheesy burger. Let's throw this off to the side. Next, we're gonna take our pickle spear here. And the bigger the spear you can get, the better. This is the biggest I could get. These are about 6 inches or so. I mean, the perfect size. And we'll take our knife, cut it right down. Next, I'm gonna take the inside of this and just scoop it out with a spoon. And then we're gonna take a mozzarella cheese stick, and once again, you can use whatever cheese you like, but make sure it's in stick form. And we're just gonna cut it to the length of the inside of our pickle. And look at that, fits in perfectly. And then we are going to take a little bit of our burger here, and we're just gonna kind of shape it to the pickle, the length of the pickle. Longer is always better, or so I've been told. Just something like that, and we'll throw it right on top. So we don't wanna wrap it completely, we just kind of want it covering the top. So if I turn this over, something like so. Just kind of touching the edges, not all the way around. We're gonna take our piece of bacon here, and we are going to wrap this guy ever so perfectly. And because I love me some bacon, I'm actually going to use 2 strips. And then we end up with something like that. You notice we got some meat on the side there that's exposed, and that's what we're looking for. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna season the outside with some coarse ground black pepper, and we'll make sure we get all of this guy. And there we have it. And there we go. Let's get this guy on the smoker. Oh, actually, I should probably make a few more of these, shouldn't I? Just like that. It was that easy. I'm just kidding. Like I said, the prep work sucks. This took about 1/2 hour to make all of these. I also needed to use about another 1/2 pound of the ground beef. So all in all, you want about 2 pounds if you're making 11 of these. Now on this channel, I tell you everything that goes wrong, and we see some of these guys here, they look really, really good. But then we come over to this side, and you can see that there are some that don't look as good, especially this one. And that is because the bacon I had kind of sucked. I had a really, really good package of thick cut bacon that wrapped everything very well and was cut and sized evenly. The next package was all over the place. I had chunks like that big, and when I tried to wrap them, they were just falling apart. And there wasn't as much bacon in that package. So I have 1 or 2 that are lacking some bacon. And as you saw with the first one, I used 2 pieces per shell, but there were some bigger pickles that I had to use 2.5 or 3. But if some of them get ruined, it is what it is. I'll eat them anyway. Let's get these guys on. We're gonna put these guys all the way at the back here. I'm gonna try to keep the ones that are broken kind of more toward the back so they don't bust open. And I'm putting these thicker boys right in front. Let's shut her down. So as you can tell by some of the dirty smoke, I've had a little bit of trouble maintaining a clean fire, mainly because it's kind of windy out here today. And no matter what kind of smoker you have, smoking in the wind always sucks ass. I actually had someone ask me about that the other day with this particular smoker, and I said it still sucks. It still sucks. Not that bad. I mean, the insulated firebox definitely helps, but it still sucks. Now, I've also said in my fire management videos, don't try something new when you're cooking something. Well, I'm breaking my own rule, mainly because it's not really that intense, what I'm trying. I'm just using splits the same size as I did in the Brazos. These are about, 6 inches. Now, they're like 8 inches or so, and split pretty thin. I just want to see if that helps this smoker run any more efficiently. In my experience, I can use bigger splits in here, but I wanted to try it. I already know how it works, so I'm not really experimenting too much. And I am kind of stacking it up a little bit in here only because we're using smaller splits. So we're gonna let these guys go at about 225, 250 for about an hour, then we'll check in on them. But in the meantime, there's more prep work we can do. That's right, more excitement. Let's get to it. Yes, that's right, we're making a sauce. This is just a dipping sauce. We're not coating these in anything while they're on the smoker. We're just taking this up a notch. Now you don't have to do a sauce. You can also use store-bought sauce. There's nothing wrong with that. I am extremely lazy and I actually enjoy store-bought sauces because I don't have to go out and buy a bunch of stupid ingredients that are gonna sit in my fridge and I'm not gonna use. But this is a sauce with ingredients that I already had and you probably do too. So I'm gonna start with, you know that sound, lots of mayo. So we'll call that 3 parts mayo, maybe about a ½ cup. And then to that, we're gonna add 2 parts barbecue sauce. And of course, I'm just eyeballing this, I really don't care. Now specifically, I'm using Sweet Baby Ray's hickory and brown sugar barbecue sauce. Unlike traditional burger sauces like your In-N-Out sauce or your Big Mac sauce, I want this one to have more of a barbecue flavor. Since we're smoking, I just want to keep all things barbecue. If you want a traditional sauce, go ahead, I don't care. And we'll just give this a mix around to see what our consistency is looking like. We want it to end up kind of red. And like I said, we want more mayo than barbecue sauce. And that to me is looking pretty damn good. Then I'm gonna add just a touch of garlic powder to this, and then an equal amount, if I can, chili powder. And we'll give it another stir. That was probably about a teaspoon of each. And as I said, this is not scientific, this is all to taste. And at the end of the day, we end up with something looking like this. Very simple, nothing special. Let me give it a quick try. Tastes pretty damn good to me. Tastes very similar to a sauce I've tried. Do you know what it is? It's campfire sauce from Red Robin. This is basically the copycat recipe. But we need to let this sauce sit in order to get the true flavor of it. So we're gonna throw it in the fridge and we're gonna let that do its thing while these guys continue cooking. Now, if you're making this sauce at home, let it sit in the fridge for about an hour. If you can, 2 hours. So we got about 45 minutes left before we check on these guys. I'll see you then. All right, so it's been just over an hour. Let's get some internal temps. What do we got here? This one's a little bit bigger, so 140, not bad. This one, 144. Let's go in the back here. What do we got? Ooh, these are a little hotter. Let's pick one of these guys up. This one, look, the cheese stick is like falling out. But it looks pretty damn good. With the exception of this guy, all of them are not really bursting out. There's some in the back there. So now, because I like crispy bacon, I'm gonna throw these guys up at the top. We're gonna let them finish off cooking up here. And most of these look actually really, really good. This one's bursting out a little bit. You can see the cheddar cheese. This is the one that was all screwed up, but I'm actually surprised it's not that bad looking. And then because I ran out of room up top, and that's how small this tray is up top here, I'm gonna move these just a little bit closer to the fire. And that's what we got. So as I said, we're just gonna finish these guys off, get that bacon nice and crispy. If you like chewy bacon, don't do what I just did. You can just bump up the temps a little bit or keep it rolling at the temp we're at, which, well, it was 250. But as always, the beginning part of this cook, we're getting smoke flavor on these guys. We don't have that much time to do it, so we want to keep our temperatures somewhat low, produce a little bit of a dirtier smoke, and now we can really cook them up and finish them off. We'll keep our temps around 275 to 300. Remember, the reason we're putting these guys on the top rack, even though we couldn't fit them all, is because the top rack has a difference of about 50 degrees, so I don't have to use as much wood, and we move these guys forward because I want them in the hotter spot. We'll let them go for about another 20 to 30 minutes. If the cheese starts busting out, I'm gonna take them off because I don't want all the cheese to fall out, obviously. We want a good pull apart. All in all, we just wanna make sure they're at an internal temp of around 155, 160. Until then, stay hydrated. All right, it's been just about over an hour. Look at this guy. Ooh, so hot. We get that little, look at that thing. So cute. I moved this guy up to the top just to move it around a little bit. But these guys are done. Oh, this looks freaking hot. So perfect. All right, let's cut into this guy. I'm so excited to see what we have. All right, not as big of a cheese pull as I wanted, but oh my God, you can see the other cheese in there. I mean, it's cooked. It looks delicious. It's oozing out. You see the cheese on the back end there. Ooh, it's so hot. All right, the hour extra, I know I said it was gonna be a half an hour, but it turned out to be an hour after I moved these guys, was because a wind gust came through for like 5 goddamn minutes and blew my fire out, so I had to adjust for that. Smoking in the wind, it's awesome. Let's give this guy a try. Terrible, don't make this. I'm obviously just kidding. The pickle is very prevalent, mostly because it kind of tastes like the pickle infused itself in the meat. As with any bacon wrap thing I do, I kind of struggle with the crispiness. Like, it's done, obviously, but when you start bacon wrapping stuff, it tends, no matter how long you cook it for, it tends to be a little bit soggy, you know, like the bacon. I don't know how else to describe it. Floppy, you know, not as crispy. Whatever. Soft, there's a good word. It bothers me a little bit, especially when you like double bacon wrap a meatloaf and smoke it, but it's not the end of the world for me. But there's a good smoke flavor, a little bit of spice from the pepper. Let's try it with a little bit of our homemade sauce here that I definitely didn't steal from a well-known restaurant. Pretty good. I think that sauce helps a little bit, just with a little bit of flavor, but you can taste that salt, pepper, garlic, butter seasoning in the burger itself. I wish the cheese didn't pop out as much, and I wish the bacon was able to hold this together a little bit more, but these are pretty damn good. I also wish there was more cheese in the middle. Like, there's a shit ton of cheese within the meat itself, and you can taste that. The cheddar, the mozzarella, whatever. It all works together very well. Take another bite. That pickle is a little bit soft on the inside. It kind of is hard on the outside, but it's not like hard to chew or anything like that. And even though I had dirty smoke throughout most of this cook because of the stupid, this freaking wind, it worked out very well. I actually have a good amount of smoke flavor on these, and it's not overwhelming. So if you want to make something that'll shoot your cholesterol through the roof, this might be the recipe for you. I enjoy it, especially with that sauce. Tastes really good. And it took 2 hours, but if you're not like me and you have ample conditions to smoke and not in a freaking hurricane, not really, it should take you about 90 minutes. So that being said, this is going to conclude this episode of Fatty's Feast. If you did in fact like what you saw, I don't know why, but go ahead, nuke that like button right down there, get my content out to more people, and leave a comment suggesting things you want to see me make on the smoke or on the grill, it doesn't matter. I will make it all. Over here will be a video specifically designed for you, you'll love it. Over here, a playlist of, what am I doing? Smoker beef. Smoker beef, is that it? Yeah, smoker beef playlist. Hours of entertainment just for you, and smack dab in the middle if you love this bald, bearded, I'm getting gray hairs in my beard, I'm a little depressed about that, diabetic, all around average physique and face so much. You can subscribe to see more of me, and until next time, everyone, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay hungry.